Confidence is one of those qualities we all admire but rarely break down honestly. Most people treat it like a mysterious boost that shows up on good days and disappears when life gets heavy. But if you've ever watched a video promising to make you dangerously confident, you know the idea hits a nerve. It suggests a type of confidence that goes beyond pep talks and motivational quotes. It points towards something sharper, stronger, and more grounded in reality. This is where Machiavelli enters the picture. Niccolò Machiavelli understood confidence better than most thinkers in history. He watched leaders rise and fall in brutal political environments, and he paid close attention to what separated the bold from the forgotten. What he found was simple. The world bends for people who step forward with intention. That doesn't mean arrogance, it means a level of strategic boldness that cuts through hesitation. When a modern creator frames a video as something that will make you dangerously confident, they are really tapping into the energy Machiavelli described centuries ago. This video aims to show how Machiavelli's philosophy can actually make someone more confident in real life, not just for a moment, but in a way that changes how they move through the world. The point is not to turn you into a reckless operator. The point is to help you understand why boldness works, why confidence influences almost every social interaction, and how the right mindset can make you someone who gets things done, rather than someone who watches life from the sidelines. 1. Machiavelli's view of human nature. Machiavelli never softened his understanding of people. He believed most humans act from self-interest, judge quickly, and follow whoever looks most certain. While this sounds harsh, he found it liberating because it reveals why confidence is not optional. If people respond to strength, then projecting strength becomes a practical skill, not an ego game. This matters because many individuals today tie confidence to emotions. Machiavelli tied it to action. He believed that stepping forward often creates the confidence people think they must find first. He also recognized that uncertainty rules most situations. Whether in politics or everyday life, no one operates with full information. Waiting to be sure of everything locks a person in place, while bolder individuals make the first move. Because of this, Machiavelli argued that effective leaders develop a willingness to act even when the path ahead feels incomplete. This is a direct clash with the modern fear of making mistakes. Machiavelli cared less about perfection and more about movement. Another key insight was how appearance shapes reality. People often judge the confidence others display more than the actual quality of their ideas. Someone who speaks clearly and takes initiative instantly gains authority in the eyes of the undecided. Machiavelli treated this as a predictable pattern of human behavior. If you understand how humans react, you can position yourself to lead, to persuade, or simply to stand out. Confidence becomes a strategic edge, not just a personality trait. 2. Confidence as a tool of power. For Machiavelli, confidence and power were inseparable. Power does not only come from titles or physical strength, it comes from the ability to influence others, to shape decisions, and to act decisively when others are frozen by doubt. This is why confidence is more than self-belief. It is a tool that helps you take control of situations. When you project certainty, people naturally look to you for direction. When you hesitate, someone else takes the lead. Machiavelli's world was ruthless, but his lesson carries into modern life. People follow momentum. He also believed that bold actions open doors that cautious people never even see. Opportunities rarely present themselves neatly. They show up messy, incomplete, and sometimes risky. The person who steps forward first gains the advantage. This doesn't mean charging blindly. Machiavelli promoted calculated risk, not chaos, but he insisted that the willingness to act beats endless planning. In today's world, where overthinking is common and fear of failure is high, this mindset feels radical but freeing. Another part of power is consistency. A confident person who shows strength one day but collapses the next loses credibility. Machiavelli argued that maintaining the appearance of stability matters just as much as having internal stability. People want to feel secure around someone who leads. If your confidence wavers constantly, followers drift. When modern creators talk about being dangerously confident, they point to the same idea: confidence that is steady, directed, and strong enough to move others. 3. The power of perception. Machiavelli believed perception shapes reality more than truth does. People rarely see your inner doubts, but they always see how you present yourself. If you stand firm, speak clearly, and act with intention, most will assume you know exactly what you're doing. This doesn't mean faking expertise. It means understanding that humans make quick judgments based on confidence signals. A person who looks steady creates steadiness around them. A person who looks unsure spreads uncertainty. Machiavelli saw this pattern repeatedly in political life, and the same pattern plays out today in workplaces, relationships, and social settings. He argued that projecting confidence is not deceitful if you're committed to backing it up with real action. Many people hold back because they think confidence must come after skill, but Machiavelli understood the opposite. People often develop skill because confidence pushed them into situations where they had to grow. By acting confident, you create expectations for yourself, and those expectations become a motivator. This is why videos about becoming dangerously confident resonate. People feel stuck, waiting to become ready, when readiness often comes from stepping forward. Perception also influences how others treat you. When you enter a room and carry yourself with purpose, people respond differently. They speak to you with more respect. They consider your opinions more seriously. They second-guess their own hesitation because your certainty forces them to. Machiavelli stressed that this dynamic is not manipulation, but human nature. People gravitate toward clarity. When you offer clarity through your presence, you gain a type of power that goes beyond words. 4. Virtue, Machiavelli's word for bold capability. One of Machiavelli's most important ideas is virtue, a term often misunderstood. It doesn't mean morality or virtue in the modern sense. It means the ability to shape events through strength, intelligence, and decisive action. Someone with virtue bends circumstances instead of letting circumstances dictate their future. Confidence is a key part of this quality. To have virtue, you must believe in your ability to act and produce results, even when conditions are imperfect. This belief gives you the energy to move when others freeze. Machiavelli thought virtue mattered more than luck or passive talent. Life is unpredictable, and waiting for the right moment means surrendering control to chance. A person with virtue creates their own opportunities. They experiment, they push forward, and they handle the consequences with resilience. In this sense, confidence becomes the engine that turns intention into momentum. Without that engine, plans remain abstract. With it, even flawed plans can succeed because movement creates options. Another element of virtue is adaptability. Confidence is not stubbornness, it's the willingness to adjust quickly without losing your sense of direction. Machiavelli admired leaders who could pivot in the face of setbacks while still projecting strength. This type of flexible confidence is powerful because it keeps others calm. When people see you adapt, they trust your stability. When they see you panic, they abandon you. Virtue combines boldness with control, and the result is a person who can handle chaos without being ruled by it. 5. Fortuna, chance, opportunity, and the confident response. Machiavelli paired virtue with fortuna, his term for chance, luck, and unpredictability. Fortuna represents everything outside your control: timing, external events, other people's choices. He believed fortuna could be both helpful and destructive, but confidence determines how you handle it. A confident person sees unexpected situations as openings instead of threats. They move toward opportunity while others shrink back. This mindset turns fortuna into a partner instead of an enemy. He compared fortuna to a river that floods unpredictably. You cannot stop the river, but you can prepare for it. Confidence gives you the courage to build metaphorical defenses and take advantage of sudden shifts. If life presents an opening, you need the boldness to step through it. Many people see opportunity but hesitate because they fear embarrassment or failure. Machiavelli would argue that hesitation is more damaging than any mistake you could make. Fortuna does not wait for the timid. Another important point is that fortuna favors the active. Machiavelli believed chance rewards those who take initiative, because movement creates intersections with opportunity. Someone who never tries rarely gets lucky. Someone who constantly acts places themselves in the path of possibility. Confidence fuels this continuous action. It pushes you to audition, apply, ask, build, or create, even when you're unsure. Over time, this leads to breakthroughs that look like luck from the outside, but are really the result of bold, consistent behavior. 6. The psychology of bold action. Modern psychology supports much of what Machiavelli observed. Humans often confuse action with confidence, assuming confidence must come first. In reality, action creates confidence. When you take a step forward, even a small one, your brain registers proof that you are capable. This shifts your self-image. People who stay trapped in their heads never gather this evidence, so they remain stuck. Machiavelli understood this long before modern science. He saw that boldness resets the mind by forcing it into motion. Bold action also interrupts fear. Fear grows in stillness. When you overthink, fear expands because your imagination fills the silence with worst-case scenarios. Action limits the time fear has to multiply. When you move, your focus shifts to the task instead of the imagined disaster. This is why Machiavelli believed decisive individuals gain natural advantages. They spend less time battling their thoughts and more time engaging with real opportunities. Another psychological benefit of bold action is the way it builds identity. Every action you take reinforces a story about who you are. If you consistently act with purpose, you begin to see yourself as the kind of person who can handle challenges. This creates a feedback loop. Confidence becomes not just a temporary feeling, but a part of your character. Machiavelli would say this is virtue in motion. You mold yourself through action, proving your capabilities to both yourself and the world. 7. Fear, the silent destroyer of potential. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to confidence. Machiavelli saw fear as a force that keeps talented people from acting. It does not matter how smart or skilled someone is if fear prevents them from stepping forward. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, and fear of standing out all weaken a person's ability to influence the world. Machiavelli's writing makes it clear that fear should never be allowed to control action. You may feel it, but you cannot let it dictate your decisions. One reason fear holds people back is the belief that mistakes ruin credibility. Machiavelli disagreed. He believed that hesitation harms a person more than a flawed attempt. This seems counterintuitive, but it makes sense when you look closely. A mistake shows that you took action. Hesitation broadcasts weakness. People forgive the former far more easily than the latter. In his political world, leaders who hesitated signaled vulnerability, and rivals took advantage. In everyday life, the pattern is the same. Another important point is that fear becomes smaller when you face it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite fear. Machiavelli understood that repeated exposure to challenge builds resilience. When you face something intimidating, even in small doses, your tolerance increases. Slowly, the fears that once controlled you lose their power. This is the foundation of true confidence, not a boost from outside content, but a self-built strength that grows from direct confrontation with difficulty. 8. The Machiavellian leader. Why boldness attracts followers. Machiavelli spent much of his work analyzing how leaders gain and maintain support. One of his clearest findings is that boldness attracts followers. People want to stand behind someone who looks like they know where they're going. They want direction, clarity, and stability. A confident individual provides this simply through their presence. When you carry yourself with conviction, people feel safer around you because certainty reduces anxiety. This is why confidence is powerful both socially and professionally. He also noted that leadership is not granted, it is assumed. Many people wait to be chosen. Machiavelli believed this was a mistake. Leaders step forward before being invited. They claim responsibility instead of waiting for permission. This act of initiative signals strength, and people respond to that signal. When you behave like someone who can lead, others begin to treat you as one. Confidence creates a self-reinforcing cycle of trust, influence, and authority. Finally, Machiavelli understood that followers judge leaders not by their internal emotions, but by the actions they take and the image they project. A leader who appears calm during chaos inspires confidence, even if they feel stressed inside. A leader who panics causes followers to scatter. This dynamic is not limited to politics. It appears in families, teams, classrooms, friendships, and creative projects. Confidence is contagious. When others feel your steadiness, they borrow it. 9. Strategy over emotion. Machiavelli believed effective action must be guided by strategy rather than emotion. This does not mean emotions are useless, but they make poor decision makers when left unchecked. Confidence built on strategy is different from confidence built on impulse. It is smarter, steadier, and harder to shake. When you understand your goals and the steps needed to reach them, confidence becomes a natural byproduct of clarity. Machiavelli appreciated leaders who thought several moves ahead instead of reacting blindly to whatever came their way. He also emphasized the importance of mental discipline. Many people talk themselves out of opportunities because they let emotion dominate their decisions. Doubt and fear cloud judgment. Strategy cuts through that fog. When you have a clear plan, you act from intention rather than panic. This creates a quiet form of confidence that does not depend on mood. Whether you feel uncertain or not, the strategy gives you a foundation to stand on, which is something Machiavelli believed separates the effective from the overwhelmed. Another element of strategy is the ability to see through distractions. Life constantly pulls your attention toward things that do not help you grow: gossip, unrelated drama, imagined criticism, and the chase for approval. Machiavelli warned leaders not to let these forces steer them. A strategic person stays focused on what matters. They conserve their energy for actions that move them closer to their goals. This type of intentional living creates a sharp, disciplined confidence that others immediately recognize. 10. Building influence, words, actions, and presence. Influence was central to Machiavelli's understanding of power. He believed influence comes from a blend of speech, behavior, and presence. People often over-rely on one element and forget the others, but confidence demands consistency across all three. Your words must reflect your intentions, Your actions must follow your words, and your presence must reinforce everything you say and do. When these three align, others see you as trustworthy and decisive. This alignment is rare, which is why individuals who master it are remembered. Words carry weight when spoken clearly and with purpose. Machiavelli saw communication as a tool to shape situations. A confident person does not ramble or soften their message out of fear. They speak with a sense of direction. Yet words alone are not enough. People watch more than they listen. They study the way you move, how you handle setbacks, and how you treat others. Machiavelli argued that actions reveal character more reliably than promises, and confidence shows itself most clearly in the way you behave when challenges appear. Presence is the final layer of influence. Presence is not about physical appearance or loudness. It is the energy you bring into a room. A person who stands tall, maintains eye contact, and listens carefully commands attention without trying. This type of presence cannot be faked long term. It grows from inner steadiness and self-respect. Machiavelli understood that presence alone can shift the dynamics of a group. People instinctively trust someone whose body language communicates certainty. 11. Applying Machiavelli in modern life. Even though Machiavelli wrote centuries ago, his ideas translate directly into today's world. Modern environments still reward people who act decisively, speak confidently, and carry themselves with assurance. Whether you're working toward a career goal, building social connections, launching a business, or trying to improve yourself, Machiavelli's principles offer a practical roadmap. Confidence is not an accident. It is a skill built through repeated choices to act boldly despite uncertainty. One of the most relevant principles today is Machiavelli's belief that you must seize opportunities quickly. Technology, careers, and social trends move fast. Waiting too long means losing your place. Machiavelli would argue that the modern world punishes hesitation even more than his own. A person who acts with strategic confidence adapts faster, takes advantage of openings, and avoids getting stuck in cycles of doubt. This approach does not guarantee success every time, but it guarantees growth. Modern life also highlights the importance of psychological resilience. The pressures of comparison, social media, and constant visibility make people more hesitant. Machiavelli's teachings offer a counterbalance. Stop worrying about perfection and focus on action. Stop waiting for clarity and create it through movement. People today crave authenticity and direction. By sharpening your confidence using Machiavelli's reasoning, you become someone who stands out in a world full of self-doubt. Conclusion: confidence is not magic. It is not a spark that appears randomly on good days. It is a deliberate practice grounded in action, strategy, and self-belief. Machiavelli understood this long before modern psychology gave us the language to describe it. He studied leaders who shaped history and found that boldness, not caution, drives results. When someone talks about becoming dangerously confident, they are really describing the mindset Machiavelli promoted: confidence that is strong enough to move people, consistent enough to survive setbacks, and strategic enough to bring real change. Throughout this essay, we have explored how Machiavelli's ideas about human nature, bold action, perception, leadership, and opportunity weave together to form a clear message. Confidence grows when you act, adapt, and stay intentional. It grows when you stop letting fear dictate your choices. It grows when you learn to influence others through clarity and steadiness. Most importantly, it grows when you take responsibility for shaping your own future, rather than waiting for life to choose for you. In the end, dangerously confident does not mean reckless. It means powerful. It means self-directed. It means willing to step into uncertainty with enough belief in yourself to make progress even when conditions are imperfect. Machiavelli believed the world respects this type of person, follows this type of person, and remembers this type of person. By embracing these principles, you begin building not just confidence, but the kind of presence that can genuinely reshape your life.